Namaskar, Abhishek, once again with a new episode 41 in Unlocking Stars with Abhishek. In the last episode number 40, we have officially completed very fascinating and mystical, very unique concept of Vedic astrology, that was the Varna Dasa. We ended that one with an example and hope that makes sense to you. And now you are able to calculate Varna Dasa, not only calculate, even you are able to apply that one, because that's the Parashara is always driving us like it's an applied science. So we are able to apply that concept in any given chart. Now, Parashara, in his own style, increased the curiosity, the thrust of knowledge, knowing more about the Vargas, different type of Vargas. So the main driving force, what I reckon in Maitreya's mind about the some more special techniques towards the checking strength of the planets, although he has given, the great guru has given this technique in Graha Gun Swarupadhyaya in planet Avastha, and from that Avastha you can make out if planet is strong, how planet is feeling, and that we have successfully applied when we are applying the Varna Dasa. Moving forward, he is again coming up with a secretive aspects of Vedic astrology. Again, fascinating and mystical aspect of Vedic astrology, that is Shodasha Vargas. So we will also follow the footprint of Mahaguru as we are following always, and we will go and we will check, we will watch, we will observe what Mahaguru is revealing truth about these 16 Vargas before going into the great discussion, the great discourse, the divine discourse. I'm remembering my Gurudev and the Lord of the Lord first, then we will go into the real concept. Today we will just start the introduction part, the Prastavana part of Shodasha Varga Adhyaya. And then one by one, we will go to each Vargas with the examples. Therefore, the concept of these Shodasha Vargas will be critically cleared in your mind by the blessings of Mahaguru. So let's remember the Jagat Guru, Adi Guru. Om Tatpurushaye Vidmahe Mahadevaye Dhimahi Tanno Rudrah Prachodaya. Jai Gurudev. Har Har Mahadev. Now Maharshi is in this chapter 7 coming up with the Shodasha Vargas, 16 Vargas. These are called divisional charts also. Vargas means divisional charts. So the basic intention, the basic idea to put forward this concept is to establish the strength and the weakness of the planets. This is the basic agenda of dealing with the Shodasha Vargas. Because we know when Maharshi indicated us, a planet is feeling also good, a planet is also strong, if that planet is the exaltation sign, or if the planet is in his own sign, if the planet is in his friend sign, in any Vargas also. So this is time to dive down into this concept of Vargas. The other classics also put a lot of emphasis on the Vargas, but I believe these are not in very much practice, although these Vargas are containing lots of astrological information, and it has to be practiced. Any classics, either it is Phaladipika of Mantreswar, or Brihat Jatak of Varamir, or Jatak Parijat of Vaidyanath Jha, or we call it by Vaidyanath Sharma also sometimes, or we can go with the Vaidyanath only. Any classics, I'm taking just a couple of names, they put emphasis on the Vargas. That's why I'm saying like a lot of hidden, secret, astrological information in it. But I'm seeing all the Vargas people are practicing, astrologers are not using, although they are coming up with like a D9 sort of thing. But when we are looking at something like Adesh of Gurudev is, go for the Rasi chart, go for the D9 Navans, go for the respective Vargas also. That's the third leg, respective Vargas. I think that's most important and most neglected. Although the approach is whole and parts approach, body and limb approach. So the Rasi chart, the D1 chart, we call it Kshetra also. That is the most important chart. We accept it, we know it. And all the other divisional charts, whatsoever, whichsoever, they are only supplementing charts. They are not going to overpower D1, that's we know. Because we know one sign is rising for 2 hours in a day, and then for the next 2 hours, every 2 hours, that sign is changing. And we also know how questionable, how difficult to get the time of birth for a specific native. If we are not concerned, we are not very much careful about the Lagna Suddhi, and then we are dealing with the Vargas, we are dissecting it that time in a finer little bit tiny pieces. If the Lagna is not correct, then the Vargas will be going to be definitely incorrect. Because all the prediction about a native is related to the ascendant. It's with respect to ascendant. And other planets posited might change if ascendant is wrong or incorrect, especially in case of the Vargas. Because one sign is like a 30-degree, and 1 degree latitude, if you change the 1 degree latitude also, that is also, if that much tiny mistake will happen, then in the final Vargas, the position of the planet will change. But with all due cares, these Vargas are very important, very effective and useful tool. I can recall like when in Bhuvan Deepak, one very beautiful verse that will give you emphasis about the one of the Vargas. That's why I'm just reciting that one for you. Hindu sarvatra vijavo lagnam cha kusum prabham halena sadrisoscha bhava swadu rasa asmitaha. In this verse, Acharya is saying moon is the seed. So moon, your mind, moon is the seed. Moon is the origin of everything. That's why, Chandra Kundali is how important it is. And the Lagna is the flower. So that is the flower, that is the pool. And the fruit is the Navansa. So D9, the Navansa is the fruit. So how important that Navansa is. And the Bhav is the nectar of the horoscope. So we understand how the things are integrated beautifully. We can't neglect one part to other. Now, this is time to, with this background, this is time to go into the ocean of Brihat Parashara Hora Shastra and check what Maharshi is discussing with Maitreya about the Shodasha Vargas in 7th chapter, Shodasha Varga Adhyaya. After listening a lot of talks on various aspects, Maitreya is now asking question in verse number 1 of chapter 7. Atha Shodasha Vargadhyayah Maitreya Uvacha Sruta Graha Gunastatha Rasi Guna Mune Srotumichhami Bhavanam Vedantasthani Kripaya Vada. Maitreya is saying, Hey Muni, Hey Mahamuni, Hey great saint, I carefully listened about the attributes, about the characteristics, about the temperaments, about the details of the graha and the rasis, about the planets and the signs. Now, you tell me about the bhavas, about the Vargas. Please tell me. So this is the question. And we know in the last episode, we have already discussed. Basically, Maharshi Parashara himself behind this question. He drives discussion in a manner, in a fashion, this natural question automatically will come up in Maitreya's mind. So after listening to this question through verse number 1, now Parashara is going to reveal. We will restrict ourselves to the introduction of the Shodasha Vargas in this episode only. So we will do up to verse number 4 today in this episode. So Parashara Uvacha. Vargana Shodasayanaha Brahma Lok Pitamaha Tanaham Samprakshayami Maitre Sruyetamiti. Parashara is saying, what I learned from Brahma about the Shodasha Vargas, about the 16 divisional charts, I will tell you, Maitre. Please listen carefully. So, Parashara ji is talking about also the purity of this knowledge, the divinity of this knowledge also. He was saying what Brahma told me, I'm telling you. So he is not coming from anywhere else. The knowledge is not coming from anywhere else. That knowledge is coming directly from the super consciousness. So Maharshi, what learned from Brahma, what Brahma told him about the 16 Vargas, now he is telling which are the 16 Vargas. First time he is going to reveal which are the 16 Vargas to Maitreya, to his beloved student. Now in verse number 3 and 4, he will reveal first time in the history of Vedic astrology. After that, so many acharyas are coming and they are exploring, expanding the ideas. That is fair enough also. But the first time in the history of Vedic astrology, through the verse number 3 and 4 of chapter 7, Shodasha Varga Adhyaya, Maharshi is going to reveal the name of these 16 Vargas. So, hey Maitreya, listen carefully. What Maharshi is saying. Kshetram Hora cha Dreskanas Chatusyasaha Saptamansakaha Navanso Dasmanschascha Suryansa Sodasansakaha Vinsanso Vedvahano Bhasa Trisansastata Khavedansa Chavedansa Sashtasyascha Tatha Param. He told the first one, D1. D1 is the Kshetra, the Rasi chart, the main natal chart, the body. That is the D1. The second one, D2, he is saying the name, he is giving the name Hora. He is saying it's the Hora. And the third one, D3, that is Dreskan. The name for D3, he is giving Dreskan. And then he is coming up Chatursans, D4. And the fifth one is Saptans. He is giving fifth one as a Saptans. And the sixth divisional chart is Navans, D9. Very popular, most popular nowadays. And then the seventh one is Dasamans, D10. And the eighth one is Dwadasans, that is D12, Dwadasans. He is giving that name. And the ninth one is Shodasans. Shodasans, ninth one is D16. And the 10th is Visans, that is D20. And the 11th one is Chaturvinsans. Similarly, he is going 12th one is Saptavinsans. And 13 is Khave-sans. The name of 13 is Maharshi is giving Khave-sans. And the 15th, the name for the 15th Vargas labeled by Maharshi, the great Guru, is the Khave, is the Akshvedasans. And the 16th is Shastra Yans. So these are the typical name given by Maharshi Parashar, revealed by Maharshi Parashar. I will give you more clarity about the classification of the divisional chart, divisional classification. So Maharshi Parashar has given us 16. Although like 15th one, the name he Akshvesans. So what is meaning? What is that one basically? So need to understand. That was a D45. So here Shodasha Vargas are D1, D2, D3, D4, D7, D9, D10, D12, D16, D20, D24, D27, D30, D40, D45, and D60. That is given by Parashar, the great Guru. All the other acharyas are also very respected, very important. We have 18 Pravartakas. Parashar is one of the Pravartaka. After 18 Pravartakas, we have number of acharyas also. They are very respected. So some of the acharyas are, they did classifications like Sadvargas. So they picked up only 6 out of this. So they are saying these 6 are very important. We will go for analysis of these 6 only. So that's Sadvargas, D1, D2, D3, D9, D12, and D30. Some acharyas, they took 7 out of this 16. They are calling it Saptavargas. So that is D1, D2, D3, D7, D9, D12, and D30. So in the Sadvargas, they just added D7. Some of the acharyas, they are coming up with more, like 10 Vargas, they picked up 10 Vargas. They are saying the analysis of these 10 Vargas are sufficient. So that is called Das Vargas. So that Das Vargas consists of D1, D2, D3, D7, D9, D10, D12, D16, D30, and D60. So these are the various classifications prescribed by our acharyas. But the Maharshi Parashar came up with 16 Vargas, that is Shodasha Vargas. Some of the acharyas, they have not just picked up out of these 16 Shodasha Vargas, they added also. So some of the acharyas, they added 4 more Vargas on top of Shodasha Vargas. So they added D5, D6, D8. I just put D8 2 times. So it's D64 basically. So they added these 6. I hope you forgive me. So they added these 4 Vargas. So it becomes 20. But this series is dedicated to explanation of Brihat Parashar Hora Shastra. And Parashar, the great Parashar, has given us Shodasha Vargas. So we will go to this Shodasha Vargas one by one with the technique prescribed by Mahaguru, and one of the example I will do for you so that that concept will be completely clear. There are tendencies among the students and seekers in this great Shastra. They are checking Vargas like a D1. They are checking the aspects of the planets also, like they are checking the aspects of the planet in D1 also. But I do believe The Graha Drishti is more concerned, more related to the D1 than divisional charts. Although Maharshi dragging this discussion towards the Rasi Drishti, then he will come up with the Rasi Drishti also. And then the analysis of the Vargas will make more sense to you. So first of all, I'm not going in that deep now. First of all, in the next following episodes, we will go one by one these Vargas and discuss them. And then Maharshi will definitely drag us to the Rasi Drishti also. And then we have full understanding about the Vargas. So I hope this level of introduction of Vargas is required before starting such a big adhyay. And slowly, we will get into that. Slowly, we will emerge into the ocean of great divine Shastra with Maharshi. In the end, I will pray for you and pray for everybody. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramaya, sarve bhadrani pasyantu, ma kaschit dukh bhag bhavet. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Jai Gurudev. Har Har Mahadev. Har Har Mahadev. Har Har Mahadev.